Part 5 Wealth, the Fastlane Roadmap. Fastlane 16. Wealth Shortcut, the Fastlane people would do better, if they knew better. Jim Rohn. What about door number 3? Sidewalk or slow lane? Sacrifice today or tomorrow. You can walk the sidewalk with no financial plan and convince yourself that the indulgences of today have no consequence for tomorrow, or drive the slow lane and sacrifice your today for the risk and illusions of a secure tomorrow. But wait. There is another choice, an alternative, a hybrid financial roadmap that can create wealth fast and slash 40 years from wealth accumulation. Fast, however, is relative. If you're 18, you can be filthy rich by 25. If you're 30, you can be retired by 36. Broke at 48 and you can retire by 54. But is it likely? Risky. If you could play one of 3 raffles, which would you play? Raffle Sidewalk, first prize, $10 million awarded immediately. Your odds of winning, 1 in 6 million, 0.00000016%. Raffle Slow Lane, first prize, $500,000 awarded in 40 years. Your odds of winning, 1 in 6, 16%. Raffle Fastlane, first prize, $10 million awarded in 6 years. Your odds of winning, 1 in 7, 14%. Which did you pick? Hopefully Raffle Fastlane, because its rewards far exceed the incremental risk of Raffle Slow Lane. Raffle Sidewalk is a wasted long shot. Your choice of financial roadmaps, sidewalk, slow lane, or fast lane, is like this hypothetical raffle. Once you understand the roadmaps and their respective wealth equations, you can choose the one that will serve as your compass. What is the fast lane? The fast lane is a business and lifestyle strategy characterized by controllable unlimited leverage, CUL, hence creating an optimal environment for rapid wealth creation and extraordinary lifestyles. Definitively, pay attention to these 4 segments. 1. Controllable unlimited leverage, CUL, whereas the slow lane is defined by uncontrollable variables with no leverage, the fast lane exploits the opposite conditions, maximum control and leverage. 2. Business. Your own business, self-employment, and entrepreneurship are centrist to the fast lane, much like a job is to the slow lane. 3. Lifestyle. The fast lane is a lifestyle choice, a commitment of blended beliefs, processes, and actions. 4. Rapid wealth creation. The fast lane is about creating large sums of wealth rapidly and beyond the confines of middle class. Here is a story that best describes the fast lane, and yes, this story is inspired from a real story posted on the internet. After 4 long years, I sold my company for $32 million, rapid wealth creation, and I wouldn't change a thing. I'm happy I sold because I wanted to make money fast and transform paper money into real money. This decision changed my life permanently. Now, I do whatever I want and I'm not the least bit bored. The world is my playground. I travel, I learned 2 new languages and how to play piano. I play water sports, hike, and snowboard at least a month a year. I own 3 homes, I watch pro sports and my favorite teams whenever I choose, watch 3 to 4 movies a week, and read 1 to 2 books a week. Most of my time is spent with my family, and I literally watch my 2 daughters grow before my eyes. My family has lived on all 4 corners of the planet, including Australia and the Caribbean. Looking back, it wasn't easy. I worked 12 to 16-hour days for 4 years, almost always 6 days a week, and always a few hours on Sunday. We created an awesome service and sold the crap out of it. The business with CUL. I remember tough times, and I had to put every dime of my money into the company. We had less than $50 in our account at least 5 times. Except for my family during those startup years, I sacrificed plenty. I canceled cable TV and I temporarily stopped doing a lot of things I enjoyed because I was committed to a goal and a dream of something far greater than a lifetime job. The lifestyle. Now, I am an investor in multiple startup companies and am making an impact I could have never imagined. I have no apologies or regrets. My life rocks and I wouldn't change a thing. If I didn't make a choice to get into business and start a company, I don't know where I'd be. This story epitomizes the fast lane. A business was created, a lifestyle grew the business, which opened up the expressway, and the expressway led to extraordinary wealth, which led to freedom. And yes, it isn't for everyone. Question is it for you? The Fastlane Mindposts, like the other roadmaps, the Fastlane roadmap contains the same mindposts or behavioral characteristics that drive the Fastlaner's actions along the journey. They are: debt perception. Debt is useful if it allows me to build and grow my system. Time perception. Time is the most important asset I have, far exceeding money. Education perception. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. Constant expansion of my knowledge and awareness is critical to my journey. Money perception. Money is everywhere, and it's extremely abundant. Money is a reflection of how many lives I've touched. Money reflects the value I've created. Primary income source. I earn income via my business systems and investments. Primary wealth accelerator. I make something from nothing. I give birth to assets and make them valuable to the marketplace. Other times, I take existing assets and add value to them. Wealth perception. Build business systems for cash flow and asset valuation. Wealth equation. Wealth equals net profit plus asset value strategy. The more I help, the richer I become in time, money, and personal fulfillment. Destination. Lifetime passive income, either through business or investments. Responsibility and control. Life is what I make it. My financial plan is entirely my responsibility, and I choose how I react to my circumstances. Life perception. My dreams are worth pursuing no matter how outlandish, and I understand that it will take money to make some of those dreams real. These mindposts are what formulate the Fastlaner's lifestyle. It drives action. The Fastlane Roadmap. Predisposed to wealth. The Fastlane Roadmap is predisposed to wealth because it operates under a wealth equation with controllable, unlimited variables, and the mathematical cage of time is removed. ULL is replaced with CUL. Correctly exploited, the roadmap reveals a rapid road to wealth via unlimited mathematics evolving via profit or asset value or both. This rapid wealth accumulation expunges years from the journey to wealth because time is removed or exploited during the process. The Fastlane produces wealth in short periods, millions, sometimes billions of dollars. Yes, it's true, get rich quick exists. The shadow behind get rich quick, successful Fastlaners get rich quick. Don't let those 3 words scare you. I know when you hear them you're inundated with a flurry of negative associations, starting with scam, things like one tiny classified ad, and seminars that cost $5,000, memories of infomercial gurus, foreign lotteries, the interior finance minister from Nigeria who needs help unloading $9 million USD, and the phony Bill Gates, who needs you to forward this email beta test to everyone, and be rewarded $50,000 in quick cash because, gosh. Golly, the attorney listed on the letter says so. Get rich quick is such an abused phrase that it has no credibility. Beaten and battered, we're numb to believe it doesn't exist. Like Santa or a unicorn, we're advised, get rich quick is a scam. I don't blame you, but is it true? Can't you make millions like they say on infomercials? The distinction is that get-rich schemes aren't endemic of get rich quick, but its evil twin, get rich easy. Get rich easy shadows its innocent sibling, leaving a trail of victims to be blamed by its brother. Get rich easy parades in the limelight and on late-night television. It lies, deceives, and casts a mirage of vanity that all desire. Just watch this quick start video or buy this stock software program, and wham, you will be rich in 10 days. No. That's not get rich quick, but get rich easy, and that only leads to a lighter wallet. Fastlane success stories embody get rich quick. For people to proclaim it doesn't exist is another untruth advanced by ignorance. Don't allow slow lane losers to corrupt truth. Don't concede. Don't make that only happens to other people your truth. Many people have lived get rich quick because it was preceded by process. Tales from the Fastlane. Unless you live in a vacuum, you're already familiar with the Fastlane. When anyone experiences a get-rich-quick event via business, you're witnessing the Fastlane. Here are some Fastlane stories pulled from the headlines: the inventor who creates a gadget and sells millions of them to 15 wholesale distributors. The guy who builds a cell phone application and sells it 50,000 times. The guy who formulates an energy bar to help him stave off hunger and later is offered $192 million for his company. The guy who builds a blog and 3 years later sells it for $4 million to a big pharmaceutical company. The woman who invents a mop and sells 500,000 of them on QVC. The teenager who builds a website that profits $70,000 a month and later sells it for millions. The guy who patents a product process and then licenses it to a Fortune 500 company and goes on to make $14 million. The guy who creates a website to help him listen to his favorite basketball team and later sells the company for $5.5 billion. The guy who builds a software company and later becomes the richest man on the planet. The doctor who researches anti-aging treatments and sells them to a drug company for $700 million. The author who writes a book about a teenage wizard and goes on to become a billionaire. The gal who manufactures and sells 20 million undergarments that help women fight body gravity. The internet marketer who earns $150,000 per month selling ads. The infomercial marketer who remakes an existing product and sells 4 million of the new, improved version. The guy who creates an energy drink to help him stay hydrated and then sells the company for $530 million. Hidden, get-rich-quick, fast lanes are everywhere if you just look for them. The fast lane, wealth's industrial revolution. The Industrial Revolution was a historic period when humans learned how to leverage the speed and efficiency of machine-based manufacturing. Manual labor was replaced in favor of systems, an organized union of distinct parts that coalesced into a specific production outcome. Long and arduous tasks manually handled by humans transformed into mechanization, expelling most human labor out of the production equation. For that era, it was their version of get-rich-quick. Products that formerly took months to manufacture now took days. Likewise, financial freedom via the Fastlane roadmap is like an industrial revolution for wealth. The default road to wealth is manual labor, a fight against time and intrinsic value. The rapid road to wealth is to industrialize the wealth process, to systematize it like our ancestors systematized production. The differences between the default road, the slow lane, and the shortcut, the fast lane, are best demonstrated in an Egyptian parable. The parable of fast lane wealth. A great Egyptian pharaoh summons his 2 young nephews, Chuma and Asa, and he commissions them to a majestic task: build 2 monumental pyramids as a tribute to Egypt. Upon completion of each nephew's pyramid, Pharaoh promises each an immediate reward of kingship, retirement amidst riches, and lavish luxury for the rest of their natural lives. Additionally, each nephew must construct his pyramid alone. Chuma and Asa, both 18, know their daunting task will take years to complete. Nonetheless, each is primed for the challenge and honored by the Pharaoh's directive. They exit Pharaoh's chambers ready to begin the long pyramid building process. Asa begins work immediately. He slowly drags large heavy stones into a square formation. After a few months, the base of Asa's pyramid takes shape. Townsfolk gather around Asa's constructive efforts and praise his handiwork. The stones are heavy and difficult to move, and after 1 year of heavy labor, Asa's perfect square foundation to the pyramid is nearly finished. But Asa is perplexed. The plot of land that should bear Chuma's pyramid is empty. Not one stone has been laid. No foundation. No dirt engravings. Nothing. It's as barren as it was a year ago when Pharaoh commissioned the job. Confused, Asa visits Chuma's home and finds him in his barn diligently working on a twisted apparatus that resembles some kind of human torture device. Asa interrupts, "Chuma. What the hell are you doing? You're supposed to be building Pharaoh a pyramid and you spend your days locked in this barn fiddling with that crazy machine." Chuma cracks a smile and says, "I am building a pyramid, leave me alone." Asa scoffs, "Yeah, sure you are. You haven't laid 1 stone in over a year." Chuma, engrossed and unfazed by his brother's accusation, retorts, "Asa, your short-sightedness and thirst for wealth have clouded your vision. You build your pyramid and I will build mine." As Asa walks away, he chides, "You fool. Pharaoh will hang you in the gallows when he discovers your treason." Another year passes and Asa solidifies the base of his pyramid and begins the second level. Except a problem arises. Asa struggles in his progress. The stones are heavy and he cannot raise them to the pyramid's second level. Challenged by his physical limitations, Asa recognizes his weakness. He needs more strength to move heavier stones, and to do so, seeks the counsel of Bennu, Egypt's strongest man. For a fee, Bennu trains Asa to build bigger and stronger muscles. With great strength, Asa anticipates the heavier stones will be easier to lift onto the higher levels. Meanwhile, Chuma's pyramid plot of land is still barren. Asa assumes his brother has a death wish since, by all appearances, Chuma is violating Pharaoh's mandate. Asa forgets about his brother and his non-existent pyramid. Another year passes and Asa's pyramid construction slows to a disheartening crawl. It often takes 1 month just to place one stone. Moving stones to the upper levels require great strength, and Asa spends much of his time working with Bennu to build greater strength. Additionally, Asa is spending most of his money on counseling fees and the exotic diet required for the training. Asa estimates at his current construction pace, his pyramid will be completed in another 30 years. Unfazed, Asa lauds, "After 3 years, I've far surpassed my brother. He hasn't placed one stone yet. That fool." Then, suddenly, one day while hauling a heavy stone up his pyramid, Asa hears a loud commotion erupting from the town square. The townsfolk, regular observers to his work, abruptly abandon his plot to examine the celebratory fuss. Curious himself, Asa takes a break and leaves to investigate. Surrounded by a cheering crowd, Chuma trolls up the town square commandeering a 25-foot contraption, a towering machine built from a twisted maze of gantries, wheels, levers, and ropes. As Chuma slowly moves up the village street amidst the buoyant crowd, Asa fears the explanation. After a short trawl to Chuma's barren pyramid plot, Asa's suspicions are confirmed. Within minutes, Chuma's strange machine starts moving heavy stones and begins to lay the foundation to his pyramid. One after another, the machine effortlessly lifts the stones and softly places them side by side into place. Miraculously, the machine requires little effort for Chuma's operation. Crank a wheel attached to a rope and cantilever entwined by a gear system, and bingo. Heavy stones are moved quickly and magically. While Asa's pyramid foundation took over a year to build, Chuma lines up the foundation to his pyramid within 1 week. The second level that Asa so arduously struggled with is even more shocking. Chuma's machine does the work 30 times quicker. What took Asa 2 months takes Chuma's machine 2 days. After 40 days, Chuma and his machine accomplish as much as Asa's 3 years of toilsome work. Asa was destroyed. He spent years doing the heavy lifting while Chuma built a machine to do it for him. Instead of honoring the machine, Asa vows, "I must get stronger. I must lift heavier stones." Asa continues the hard labor of pyramid building while Chuma continues to work the crank of his machine. After 8 years, Chuma finishes his pyramid at age 26, 3 years to build the system and 5 years to reap the benefits of the system. The great pharaoh is pleased and does as promised. He rewards Chuma with kingship and endows him with great riches. Chuma never has to work another day in his life. Meanwhile, Asa continues to dredge away at the same old routine. Lift rocks, waste time and money to get stronger, lift rocks, and get stronger. Sadly, Asa refuses to acknowledge his flawed strategy and endures the same old process: carry heavy stones until you can lift no more, then get stronger so you can lift heavier stones. This mindless prescription leads Asa to a lifetime of toil. He never finishes his pyramid promise to Pharaoh simply because he decides to do the heavy lifting himself when he should have focused on a system to do it for him. Asa has a heart attack and dies while on the 12th level of his pyramid, just 2 levels from finishing. He never experiences the great riches promised by Pharaoh. Meanwhile, Chuma retires 40 years early in a crown of luxury. Sloshing in free time, Chuma goes on to become Egypt's greatest scholar and an accomplished inventor. He is entombed alongside Pharaoh in the same pyramid he built. The fast lane is a business system, the slow lane is a job. The slow lane is a job, your hard work traded for your employer's cash. Asa's struggles resemble that of a slow laner. To get rich, you're told to get stronger, spend money, return to school, and earn more in the job market, so you can lift heavier stones. The fast lane is about building a better system, a better contraption, a better product, or a better something that will leverage your work. In the slow lane, you are the source of heavy lifting, while in the fast lane, you construct a system that does it for you. On your wealth road trip, the slow lane roadmap asks that you endure a long, tiresome walk to wealth. The toil of wealth is the process itself. In the fast lane, wealth is driven in a business system you create, the toil is the creation and management of the system itself. Chapter Summary: Fast lane distinctions. The risk profile of a fast lane strategy isn't much different from the slow lane, but the rewards are far greater. The fast lane roadmap is an alternative financial strategy predicated on controllable unlimited leverage. The fast lane roadmap is predisposed to wealth. The fast lane roadmap is capable of generating get-rich-quick results, not to be confused with get-rich-easy. Fast lane 17. Switch teams and playbooks. A man wrapped up in himself makes a very small bundle. Benjamin Franklin. The fast lane roadmap, the playbook for wealth. Losing teams use losing playbooks. Play for a losing team and you're stuck using their losing playbook. To win, switch teams and use the winner's playbook. The fast lane roadmap creates financial winners because it uses a winning formula rooted in unlimited and controllable mathematics. Where is this playbook and how do you get it? You have to forsake the ideology of the majority and become a slow lane trader. Switching teams and the playbook. From the day you were born, you were baptized to play for Team Consumer, from the Barbie doll and the Tonka truck to the Star Wars action figures. You've been conditioned to demand, to want products, to need products, to buy products, and of course, to seek out the cheapest of those products. The correlation between the slow lane and the sidewalk is this: jobs exist to facilitate the consumer process. You become a brand manager for a consumer products company, you become an insurance agent, you become an accountant for some corporation. It's consumer-driven and focused to move goods and services into the hands of consumers. This consumer focus is like a gravitational pull to keep you amenable to anti-fast lane thinking. Cracking the code. Decoding the fast lane roadmap is as simple as joining the team that is custodian to the decryption key. The winning team is team producer. Reshape life's focus on producing, not consuming. When you reframe your thinking from majority thinking, consumer, to minority thinking, producer, you effectively switch teams and allegiances. Yes, become a producer first and a consumer second. Applied, this means instead of buying products on TV, sell products. Instead of digging for gold, sell shovels. Instead of taking a class, offer a class. Instead of borrowing money, lend it. Instead of taking a job, hire for jobs. Instead of taking a mortgage, hold a mortgage. Break free from consumption, switch sides, and reorient to the world as producer. I know, it's not easy. However, once you see the world from a producer perspective, your perception sharpens like a fine-tuned radio frequency, from static to clear stereo sound. Suddenly, opportunities have clarity, ideas surface, and scams are exposed. This new minority status is critical to strengthening your wealth creation temperament. Remember, the rich are a minority, and you want to be in that minority. It starts with a producer mindset. Producer reorientation. When you encounter an advertising message that coaxes you to buy something, examine it from the producer perspective. How does this company make money? What is the aim of its message? What kind of business processes are involved in offering this product or service? Is this company making a profit? What is the revenue model? Is this product manufactured overseas or locally? I've never bought a product on late-night television because I'm on the same team. As a producer, I see the infomercials for what they are: producers, the minority, serving the consumer, the majority. The act nows, the but wait, there's more, the free bonuses, these are marketing weapons in a producer's arsenal. I watch infomercials not to buy, but to see what the pros are doing. As producers, our job is to entice consumers to buy. As a producer locked into a producer mindset, I attract wealth because consumers seek producers. Consumers are the majority who demand their fill. To consume richly, produce effectively, and the irony of this producer/consumer dichotomy. Once you succeed as a producer, you can consume anything you want with little consequence because you'll be rich. To consume richly, produce richly first. Unfortunately, most people have it backward: consumption and no production. Producers get rich. Consumers get poor. Switch teams and reorient as a producer first, a consumer second. Make wealth attracted to you. Be a producer, leverage the business of a system to switch teams and become a producer. You need to be an entrepreneur and an innovator. You need to be a visionary and a creator. You need to give birth to a business and offer the world value. While the centrist theme to the slow lane is a job, in the fast lane, it's a business. Yes, good old self-employment. I know, not breaking news for get-rich books, however, it's important to note that most small business owners are light years away from a fast lane and dickering with slow lane metrics. Some businesses masquerade as jobs. A fast lane business is the key to the fast lane wealth equation. Wealth equals profit plus asset value, because it unlocks leverage, a new set of wealth variables that are unlimited and controllable, whereas in the slow lane, they are limited and uncontrollable. Yes, ULL is swapped for CUL. For example, the sale of this book extricates me from the slow lane wealth equation and its universe. This book puts me into the fast lane universe, which is governed by its wealth equation of net profit and asset value. This book is a business system that has unlimited leverage in both time and money. First, it survives time and it is capable of earning income long after my original time investment. This book effectively transfers the act of income generation from me, the human asset, to the book, the business asset. From start to finish, this book cost roughly 1,000 hours of my time. If I sell 100,000 books at $5 profit each, I earn $500,000, or roughly $500 per hour invested. If I sell 500,000 books, I will earn $2,500 per hour invested. The more I sell, the greater the return on my original time investment, as I already paid the time. Imagine 10 years from today I sell one copy of this book. Suddenly I earn $5 from a time investment I made years ago. But it gets better. If I guest speak on a radio show for 10 minutes and that appearance yields 1,000 book sales, this 10-minute investment yields $5,000 in income, 1,000 books times $5 profit, and yields a return on my time at $30,000 per hour. Can you get rich trading your time for $30,000 per hour? Yes, you can, and awfully fast. You see, when you unlock yourself from the handcuffs of time imposed by the slow lane roadmap, you assign income to a system that leverages unlimited mathematics, and fast wealth becomes possible. The variables in my wealth universe can be controlled and leveraged. In the next chapter you will discover why the fast lane can deliver financial freedom and wealth faster than any mutual fund can. Chapter Summary: Fast Lane Distinctions. Producers are indigenous to the fast lane roadmap. Producers are the minority as are the rich, while consumers are the majority as are the poor. When you succeed as a producer, you can consume anything you want. Fastlaners are producers, entrepreneurs, innovators, visionaries, and creators. A business does not make a fast lane. Some businesses are jobs in disguise. The fast lane wealth equation is not bound by time and its variables are unlimited and controllable. Fast Lane 18. How the rich really get rich. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. T.S. Eliot. The burning question: how did you get rich? Drive any car that costs more than most people's homes and strangers will accost you with the question, what do you do for a living? This seemingly innocuous question fronts for the real question burning inside. How did you get rich? People want to know the road I've taken so they can assess their likelihood to travel that same road. When I prompt for a guess, the answers are typical: athlete, actor, a spoiled brat indulged by rich parents, a lottery winner. These speculative answers unmask the reality behind people's perceptions. To get rich you have to get famous, inherit money, or win money. That's what I thought, until I met that stranger in his Lamborghini so many years ago. The fast lane wealth equation: living wealthy in youthful exuberance has to shatter the myth of get rich quick. If you're 30 years old and worth millions, and you aren't famous or rich via inheritance, you dirty all fabrics of normality. We can't have that, now can we? Once again, the secret is unmasked in the universal language of mathematics. The secret is to divorce yourself from the ugly and obese slow lane equation, ULL, and trade up to the smoking hot blonde, the fast lane equation, CUL. Wealth equals net profit plus asset value. Underneath this equation lies the true power of the fast lane and how to build wealth fast. Its variables are controllable and unlimited. If you can control the variables inherent to your wealth equation, you can get wealthy. Those variables are: net profit equals units sold times unit profit, and asset value equals net profit times industry multiple. All business owners leverage this equation, in which units sold times unit profit will determine net profit. Using my internet company as an example, my unit profit was approximately $4 for every website conversion. A conversion was a user who generated a lead. On any given day, I had 12,000 people visiting my website. This means my units sold variable had an upper threshold of 12,000 per day. I had the opportunity to sell 12,000 people per day. Let's compare this variable to the slow lane's counterpart of hours worked. Under my wealth equation, my upper limit of wealth is units sold, and currently stood at 12,000. Of course, 100% conversion is unreasonable, and converting all 12,000 is unlikely. Likewise, in the slow lane, the unreasonable upper limit is 24 because there are only 24 hours in the day. Logically, the real upper limit is 8 to 12 hours per day. What is going to make you rich? An upper limit of exposure to 12,000 people per day. Or maximizing your hours worked in the day. That's 12,000 versus 24. No contest. I get rich and the slow laner gets old. Controllable unlimited variables will make you rich. So how did I control this variable? How is it unlimited? Simple. My average conversion ratio was 12%. If I want to make more profit, I don't walk into the boss's office and ask for a raise. No, I have several weapons available for deployment. 1. Raise units sold by increasing conversion ratio. A 1% increase from 12% to 13% would give me an instant raise of about $480 per day. That's $14,400 per month. If I redesign the website, hit a home run and get conversion to 15%, now I've expanded my income to over $43,000 per month. 2. Raise units sold by increasing web traffic. To raise profit, I can increase traffic. If I increase web users to my website from 12,000 to 15,000 and conversion stays at 12%, my daily income rises by $1,440 per day, or $43,200 per month. Not likely. It happened. On some days I would have traffic spikes where over 20,000 users would visit. 3. Raise unit profit. If I detect a weakness in supply for my service or improve value, I can raise prices and increase my unit profit. If my unit profit moves from $4 to $4.50, I raise my income to $10,800 per day from $8,000. That translates to an additional $84,000 per month. Is your mouth on the floor yet? Isn't it wonderful to have control? These were my options to create wealth. I had reasonable control over both variables, unit profit and units sold, whereas in the slow lane you're left pleading with the boss for a measly 3% salary raise. Second, notice how my wealth variables are virtually unlimited. I controlled only a small part of my market, and conceivably my upper threshold of traffic wasn't the current 12,000 people but upward of 50,000 to 100,000 users per day. Unit profit is also pliable. I could experiment with increased prices or new services. I remember the time when I introduced a new service that cost me nothing and I sent out an email to my advertisers outlining the program. Within minutes, I made a few $1,000s in recurring yearly income. My invested time was negligible and the results were accumulative. High speed limit equals high potential income. The power of this example is to illustrate why I got rich and most others don't. I changed my universe because my wealth equation was unlimited and controllable. When I make tiny, incremental changes in my strategy, I explode my income. A mere 1% increase in the variables could mean thousands and a new Lamborghini. When your wealth variables have high leverage, so does your income potential, or would you rather stick with the ceiling of 24 hours native to intrinsic value? Unfortunately, many enthusiastic business owners engage in opportunities with low, punitive speeds. For example, if you sit outside the hardware store and sell hot dogs from your hot dog cart, you've muzzled your speed with no accelerative leverage. The variables are limited because your reach is confined to a small area. How many hot dogs could you conceivably sell in the day? 40. 100. Is it possible you can go home and rave to your wife, honey? I sold 20,000 hot dogs today. It would never happen. Again, this isn't much different from the 24-hour cage on intrinsic value. Small numbers have a strong gravity toward mediocrity. Another example is this book itself. How many people are interested in financial independence or early retirement? My market, my upper speed limit, is virtually hundreds of millions of people all over the world. To weaponize the fast lane wealth equation, you must engage in a fast lane business that has the potential for leverage or high speed limits. Retarded numbers retard wealth. Millionaires create and manipulate assets, asset value. In a survey of 3,000 pentamillionaires, $5 million net worth, the Harrison Group, HarrisonGroupInc.com, reported that almost all pentamillionaires made their fortunes in a big lump sum after a period of years. Worth repeating, a big lump sum, not by saving 10% of his paycheck for 40 years. A big lump sum is just another phrase for asset value. Furthermore, 80% either started their own business or worked for a small company that saw explosive growth. Explosive growth is another phrase representing asset value. And yet, none of these multi-millionaires had a cushy union job down at the DMV. Surprised? Don't be. The primary wealth accelerant of the rich boils down to one concept: appreciable and controllable assets. Within our fast lane wealth equation, this second component is called asset value. Asset value is simply the worth of any property you own that has marketplace value. Slow laners and fast laners have two antagonistic views of assets. Slow laners and sidewalkers buy and sell depreciating assets that decline in value over time. Cars, boats, electronics, designer clothes, gizmodos, and sparkly bling to impress that newly divorced woman in the adjacent cubicle, these are all assets that lose value the moment your credit card is charged. Contrary to this, fast laners buy and sell appreciating assets, businesses, brands, cash flows, notes, intellectual property, licenses, inventions, patents, and real estate. As it relates to the fast lane wealth equation, the power of asset value lies in your ability to control the variable in a virtually limitless fashion. Wealth acceleration by asset value. The rich accelerate wealth by accelerating asset value and selling those upgraded assets in the marketplace. 24-year-old Sheila Hinton quits her job to become a roving computer technician, eradicating viruses and cleaning computers. At first, her business operates in the local metropolitan area, but growth forces her to hire additional technicians. Her growth to additional cities is explosive and driven by demand. In a few years, Sheila owns a company that operates in 27 states. She moves from a technician to a facilitator of the system, and her company enjoys an impressive $2.9 million profit. After enjoying the profits, and saving most of it, she sells her company for $24 million to a large computer manufacturer. She built an asset from nothing to something. The asset was her system, and now with a $30 million nest egg, she never has to work again. The preceding story best represents the two variables that comprise asset value. Asset value equals net profit times industry multiplier. Anytime you have an asset that has sustainable profits, an industry multiplier governed by prevailing market conditions determines the valuation of that asset. Other people or companies will buy that asset based on the asset's net profit multiplied by the assessed multiple. For example, if you own a manufacturing company that nets $100,000 and the average multiple for your industry is 6, your asset value is worth $600,000. Industry multipliers are subject to intense negotiating as they rise and fall with the economy and within industry sectors. You already might be familiar with multipliers. Stocks trading on the public markets define the multiplier for each respective company by the price-to-earnings ratio, or PE. If a company's stock trades at 10 times PE, investors are purchasing the company at a multiple of 10 times. Price-to-earnings is relevant regardless of whether your company is a small private company or a large publicly traded company. The valuation of your company is predicated on the subjective PE for your particular industry. For example, in my particular web space, industry multipliers ranged from 2 to 6. For this analysis, let's use the middle, 4. This means that any time I increased my net profit, the value of my business increased by a minimum factor of 4, or 400%. 400%. Where can you get a return of 400% in today's financial market? Are there any mutual funds paying 400%? Forget about today, how about ever? In effect, this puts a phenomenal wealth-building tool at your disposal. Since net income, profit, or earnings can determine asset value, I experienced asset growth of 400% every time I increased net profit. For every dollar I earned, the value of my company would increase by a factor of 4, or $4. If my net profit increased $500,000 for the year, my company's valuation increased by $2 million. The Wealth Acceleration Factor, WAF. Suppose you're a disgusted engineer employed by a multinational corporation. You've been employed for 3 years and diligently saved 10% of your paycheck and invested into a mutual fund earning an average of 8% a year. Your Wealth Acceleration Factor, WAF, is 8%. Now suppose you quit your job and take your 3 years of experience and set off to create a company manufacturing medical devices. You estimate that your total market, potential buyers, for your medical products is 16 million. According to our chart above, the average multiple for the medical devices industry is over 17. This means within your scope of wealth acceleration, you can accelerate wealth at a factor of 17, or 1,700%. Your Wealth Acceleration Factor, WAF, is 1,700%. Let's extend this example further. For the next 6 years, you grow this company to the point that its net income is $1.2 million per year. This means you now earn $100,000 per month, your net profit, and your company, the asset, is now worth in the neighborhood of $18.4 million based on the average multiple, $1.2 million times 17.32 multiple. You could continue to grow the business, grow wealth via asset value and cash flow, grow income, or seek to liquidate, sell asset value, to realize wealth acceleration. Contrast the two wealth acceleration options for the slow laner and the fast laner. Your wealth acceleration options: if you stay as an employed engineer, 1. Raise your intrinsic value and hope the boss gives you a pay raise. 2. Hope the company doesn't lay you off, so you can continue receiving your income. 3. Save 10% of your paycheck in a mutual fund and hope for an 8% return for the next 40 years. Your wealth acceleration options: if you owned your own medical device company, 1. Grow net income with an income potential only limited by the number of devices you can sell, that is, 16 million. 2. Grow asset value at a factor of 1,700%. 3. Liquidate asset value and turn paper money into real money. Can you see now why some 30-year-olds are worth $50 million and some are worth $13,000? The Fastlane universe operates on gains of 1,700% and millions, while the slow lane universe 8% and 40. One plan is about hope while the other is about control. Breaking news: 8% and 40 makes millionaires in 40 years, 1,700% and 16 million makes billionaires in 4 years. Wealth's dual-flanked attack: zealous pursuit of net profit is a double-flanked attack at creating wealth. Since asset value is tied to net profit, raising net profit simultaneously elevates asset value by the average industry multiple. Of course, this works in the opposite as well. If your company stagnates and net income starts to erode, so will the corresponding asset value. When I repurchased my company, I paid $250,000. I then for the next several years manipulated the asset and increased its value. 1. I expanded my customer base by 30%. 2. I reduced expenses, improving profitability. 3. I streamlined operations, which created passivity. 4. I elevated net income. Over this process, my net income exploded and, with it, asset value. Then, subsequently, and after profiting millions passively, I put the company up for sale and entertained multimillion-dollar offers. I bought an asset for $250,000, appreciated and manipulated the variables, and then sold it for millions. I controlled my financial plan, the plan didn't control me. In the fast lane, your wealth accelerator is based on creating or buying appreciative assets, adding value and manipulating the variables, and then selling. Or you can opt for the slow lane alternative: dump $200 a month into a mutual fund and pray for 8% per year and 40 years of employment. Excuse me while I laugh. Superfast wealth acceleration. Liquidation events. Liquidation events create millionaires overnight, but only if liquidation occurs. Liquidation events are the process of selling your appreciable asset to the market. It's a fast lane exit strategy. John Twitnuts creates a social networking website that goes viral. Soon millions of people are using his service, and John finds himself entertaining buyout offers and venture capital investments. Despite having no revenue and no profit, John has built an asset that has value to the marketplace. He receives a $640 million offer for his service from the web's leading search engine. John declines, arguing that his business will be worth more money once he starts generating revenue. While this is true, it is a gamble. After 18 months, John's social networking service falls out of vogue, proving that the service was nothing more than a fad. The company becomes a bad party joke. In search of glowing valuations on a declining property, John no longer receives investor or buyer interest. He realizes too late that he should have taken the $640 million and experienced a liquidation event. He eventually sells the company at a fire sale price of $2.5 million to a private equity firm. His poor timing cost him more than $600 million. Asset valuations of businesses, real estate, and other appreciable assets are nothing but just that, valuations based on subjective analysis and market data. If the company you build from scratch has a paper valuation of $60 million and your bank account only has $10,000, are you really a millionaire? Not really. Illiquid, paper millionaires can't buy Ferraris and palatial estates, money does. And to get the money, you have to increase profit and save it, or go for the big exit, liquidation. Fastlaners accelerate wealth by building cash-flowing assets that can be sold in the marketplace to realize gains. Their wealth equation has controllable, unlimited leverage. Chapter Summary: Fastlane Distinctions. The key to the Fastlane wealth equation is to have a high speed limit, or an unlimited range of values for units sold. This creates leverage. The market for your product or service determines your upper limit. The higher your speed limit, the higher your income potential. The primary wealth accelerant for the rich is asset value, defined as appreciable assets created, founded, or bought. Wealth creation via asset value is accelerated by each industry's average multiplier. For every dollar in net income realized, the asset value multiplies by a factor of the multiple. Your industry of specialization will determine the average multiple that determines your wealth accelerant factor. If the multiple is 3, your WAF is 300%. Liquidation events transform appreciated assets, paper net worth, into money, real net worth, that can be transformed into another passive income stream, a money system. Fastlane 19. Divorce wealth from time is the coin of your life. It is the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Be careful, lest you let other people spend it for you. Carl Sandburg. Industrializing wealth. Divorce from time. My first Fastlane taste was in my late 20s, when I had one of the worst months of my life, a brutal mix of a bad relationship gone south and some troubling health news served as a lethal cocktail to my business productivity. I spent most of the month in bed with the shades drawn, watching Judge Judy unleash a firestorm of common sense whoop-ass. During this troubling time I had to cash in my Fastlane lottery ticket, and let me tell you, it paid. Despite being checked out on life, my income actually grew. Yes, grew. My income didn't stop because I stopped. How did I get so lucky? I was divorced from time. Years earlier, I broke the chains of my time for money. This allowed me to escape the stranglehold of the slow lane equation and operate on the fast lane playing field. When your wealth is predicated on factors that you cannot control and that are implicitly limited, you aren't going to make fast progress. You aren't in control because time is in control. You aren't in control because the boss is in control. You aren't in control because the stock market is in control. How did I escape these controls that society finds perfectly acceptable? Instead of trading my time for money, manual labor, I traded it into a business system, industrialized wealth production. In my situation, time was working for me, not against me. My business system earned money with the passage of time, and yet was exclusive of my time. It was a virtual money tree and it didn't care what I was doing. Whether I was watching Jerry Springer or jet skiing in Jamaica, the system was built to be its own machine, a living, breathing entity that did the dirty work for me. My system was a surrogate and traded its time. I own my time instead of time owning me. Passive income, the holy grail to retirement. The buzzword in money-making circles is passive income, earning income while not working. While retired, I receive checks every month like clockwork and I don't lift a finger. Passive income is a successful divorce from the work-for-money equation indigenous to the slow lane. The beauty of passive income is it doesn't care if you're 20 years old or 80. If your monthly income exceeds your lifestyle expenses including taxes, guess what? You're retired. The Fastlane roadmap is engineered for two purposes. It's engineered to create a passive income stream to the excess of your expenses and lifestyle desires, and to make financial freedom a reality, exclusive of age. To break time is to grow a money tree. Mom convinced me it was true. We can't afford that. Do you think money grows on trees? She was wrong. Money grows on trees if you own a money tree. And, you can own one if you know how and where to get the seeds. Money trees are business systems that survive on their own. They require periodic support and nurturing but survive on their own, creating a surrogate for your time for money trade. A few years ago, I was in Vegas and I lost nearly $2,000 gambling. After retreating to my hotel room with my tail between my legs, I realized, why fret? I lost $2,000. On that day, my money tree, my internet company I created, earned $6,000. While I gambled, or slept, swam, or ate, my blooming money tree bore fruit. A money tree is a business system, and it's the Fastlane roadmap's main street. Money trees create passive income streams before you officially retire. Yes, you can experience the destination of retirement and financial freedom without actually being retired. This is akin to taking a vacation to the South Pacific and magically bypassing the 9-hour plane ride. Money tree seedlings, a Fastlane business. Not all businesses are Fastlane, and many of them can't be transformed into money trees. Misled by gurus and life coaches, wannabe entrepreneurs are steered astray under the lure of, be your own boss, and, do what you love, and head down a path of business servitude that is identical to being indentured to a job. It is Jillian's dream to be her own boss. After a 13-year career on Wall Street, Jillian quits her financial advisor job and buys a well-known deli franchise. She liquidates half of her 401k to pay for franchise fees and startup costs. 3 months later she is in business and expects to realize her dream. But Jillian discovers that her dream is nothing but a nightmare. Between 7-day workweeks, long hours, and constant bickering between her and the corporate franchisor, she burns out in 2 years. Her profit margins, slim and softened by franchise royalties, don't allow her to hire an operator to run the restaurant in her place. She feels trapped as she trades her time for dollars. Although she earns a $90,000 a year profit in her business, Jillian has no free time to enjoy the fruits of her labor. She could pay $60,000 to a general manager, which would give her free time. Knowing she can't survive on $30,000 per year, she feels trapped to her business while her profit is cornered into submission. 4 years later, she puts the business up for sale and seeks the comfort of a 9-to-5 job. Too many people plant businesses in barren, infertile soil that is incapable of spawning money trees, and which is suitable only for a scrawny slow-lane twig that sucks up time and money. The 5 Fastlane business seedlings. There are 5 business seedlings to money trees. Mind you, these aren't absolute and they interbreed with each other. Each system inherently has a grade that rates its level of passivity. A higher grade means a greater potential for passivity, but not necessarily a greater income. 1. Rental systems. 2. Computer/software systems. 3. Content systems. 4. Distribution systems. 5. Human resource systems. Seedling 1. Rental systems. Passivity grade A. Real estate is 1 rental system. I consider real estate money trees as Fastlane 1.0 or Wealth 1.0. It is the old way and still very much a road to wealth. For example, I own a single-family rental home with a great tenant. I could be living on the moon and each month I get a check in the mail because my time is detached from its income. Real estate is a perfect example of Wealth 1.0 because real estate is its own system. It is 95% passive. As time passes, tenants pay landlords to use their property. From single families to apartment buildings to massive commercial office buildings, real estate has always been the default choice for seedling money trees. Furthermore, real estate is an asset that can be manipulated and its value appreciated. Appreciative assets, asset value, are cornerstones in the Fastlane wealth equation. Don't want to get involved in real estate? No problem. Rental systems aren't just reserved for real estate. Rental systems can come from a variety of other sources not real estate oriented. Leases, royalty payments, and licensing are other forms of rental systems that can produce recurring monthly income. For example, when you own the rights to a music collection, corporations have to pay you a royalty to use the music. The work might have been recorded decades earlier, but it still generates royalties. Likewise, if you invent and patent a product process and license it to other companies, you again earn income from the licensing fee. The patent was invented and registered, yet its income survives time exclusive of your time. Photographers can earn licensing revenues by allowing others to use their photos. Cartoonists license their artistry to book authors and newspaper producers. The creation of a cartoon might have happened years ago, yet, it survives time and generates rental income for the owner. Rental systems are powerful money trees because they are high on the passivity scale and survive time. Seedling 2, Computer/Software Systems, Passivity Grade, A-. My preferred system is computer and software systems, including the Internet. It's no shock that the Internet has paved the road to millions more than any other road out there. In fact, I heard a statistic that the Internet created more millionaires in the last 5 years than the previous 5 decades combined. What makes the Internet and computer systems so potent? Computers are miraculous inventions and fertile seeds to money trees. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they don't bitch about working conditions. They don't bitch that you don't pay them enough. They don't bitch and moan about coworkers like Lazy Joan or Same Shirt Bob. Nope, computers aren't late, they don't ask for pay raises, and they don't care you just bought a new Mercedes S-Class. Nope, they just do what they're programmed to do and it's done. What sets the Internet apart from real estate is it implicitly contains leverage. When you own a website, you're accessible to millions. When you own a 3-bedroom home on Elm Street, it's accessible to a few. This duality makes Internet systems one of the best business seedlings in existence. Additionally, computer systems aren't limited to the Internet. It could be software or applications. Some of the richest people on the planet are software billionaires, like Bill Gates of Microsoft and Larry Ellison of Oracle. Software enjoys plump margins because it is easily replicated. Once the code is written, it's done. You can easily sell 1 or 10,000. Can you replicate an office building with ease? You can't. Software millionaires can be average Joes. Facebook and iPhone application developers are making money fast. One iPhone developer, Nicholas, raked in $600,000 in a single month with a single iPhone game. In a phone interview, Nicholas said that he wouldn't be shocked if he became a millionaire by year's end. Wow. One day Nicholas is treading the slow lane at his nice cushy job and popping a few Benjamins into his 401k, when suddenly he finds himself smack in the middle of a fast lane. Of course, the road to the fast lane wasn't easy for Nicholas. An engineer at Sun Microsystems, he worked on his application after working 8-hour days, cradling his 1-year-old son in one hand and coding with the other. How did he learn how to code an iPhone app? Nicholas couldn't afford books, so he taught himself by scouring websites. Do you smell process behind the event? Software, when tapped into potent distribution, can be replicated to millions. It scales without significant degradation to passivity. Seedling 3, Content Systems, Passivity Grade, B+. Content systems are systems of information. That information can be fused to a variety of other systems, like the Internet and physical distribution systems. This book is a content system that I can effectively move through other channels, like the Internet or a book distributor. In the old days of wealth, striking it rich via content meant you had to be a newspaper mogul, magazine publisher, or successful author. Control the press. Distribute content. Information, like software, often has ease of replication. I can print 10 million of these books. I will never own 10 million pieces of real estate, nor do I have any desire. Like their software counterparts, some of the richest people on the planet are successful authors. In a few short years, J.K. Rowling, author and owner of the Harry Potter brand, went from being a 32-year-old divorced English teacher to a media mogul worth over $400 million. The single mom has sold over 30 million copies of her books in 35 different languages. I guess she didn't hear the excuse, "I'm a single mom and I don't have time." Ms. Rowling recalls the happiest point of her life, not the acquisition of millions, but the point at which she could write full-time. Similarly, Dan Brown has sold over 80 million copies of the Da Vinci Code in 51 languages. Let me be perfectly clear, if you sell 80 million of anything, you will be a very rich human being. The latest trend of content distribution has merged with computer systems. Blogs, social networks, ebooks, and online magazines all serve the newest hybrid of computer systems and content distribution. In fact, this new combination is so powerful that it is driving many of the old, hardline models out of business. Paper newspapers and magazines are officially endangered to be extinct in the coming decade. Change creates millionaires. Those who observe and take advantage of change will be the new millionaires and billionaires. Content also survives time. This book might have taken me years to write, but it also survives years. If someone buys this book 5 years from now, I will earn a small profit on a time investment I made years earlier. The content is an asset that is saleable, over and over again, and with each sale, the effective time cost declines while the hourly rate of return expands. Seedling 4, Distribution Systems, Passivity Grade, B. A distribution system is any structure or organization designed to move products to the masses. Distribution systems can be hybrids with the other seedlings, such as content and computer systems. If you invent and manufacture a new product and sell it on QVC, you are leveraging a distribution system. If you sell that product via infomercial at 2 a.m., you are leveraging a distribution system. If you sell your product to 4 wholesale distributors that, in turn, sell it to retailers like Walmart and Target, you are leveraging a distribution system. When inventing any product, the invention is always half the battle. Distribution is the other. The greatest product in the world goes unused if it isn't leveraged into the proper distribution system, either one that exists, or one that you create. Amazon.com is one example of a distribution system that I use. This book sells on Amazon and is available to millions. However, a book sitting on Amazon represents unrealized potential, like a 1,000 horsepower car sitting in the garage. It is my job to turn the engine on and drive the power of the distribution system. The tool exists, ready to be exploited by successful, or failed, execution. Our iPhone developer leveraged the iPhone App Store to move his software. This was his distribution point. Without the distribution, he couldn't sell software. Distribution is a means to move product to the masses. Some systems are better than others, and when it comes to distribution, it all depends on the control structure. If you create a network marketing company to sell your new vitamin product, you are creating a powerful distribution network capable of earning millions. If you join a network marketing company, you are electing to be a gear in the distribution process. Another potent form of distribution is franchising and/or chaining. When a successful store concept is branded and systemized, it can be replicated and sold to other individuals. Savvy Fastlane entrepreneurs recognize that a successful local business with weak leverage can be made highly leveraged by franchises or chains. Does this path sound familiar? It should. This is what Starbucks did to become the biggest coffee chain in the world. Other restaurants deploy a combination of chains and franchises. Dairy Queen and McDonald's have both chains and franchises. If your business operates in limited scale, it can be conquered with chains and franchises. If you own one hot dog cart and sell at one location, there is no leverage. If you own 500 hot dog carts and sell at 500 locations through 500 owner-operators, suddenly leverage appears. The Fastlane wealth equation has power. Seedling 5, Human Resource Systems, Passivity Grade, C. Amazon.com is a distribution system backboned by a computer system and operated by a human resource system. Human resource systems are the most expensive and complicated to run. Humans are unpredictable, expensive, and difficult to control. Ask anyone with a company that relies on employees how challenging it is to keep employees happy. I came to the employee crossroads with my own company. I had to either suffer internet technology obsolescence or hire 2 more people to scale my company to the next level. Since my business was already 80% passive, I knew that adding employees would erode the passivity of my business because employees need management. At a certain level, even managers need managers. The other alternatives were to keep my company on autopilot and watch it slowly degrade over the years. Web companies need to be constantly reinvented, dig in and return to startup mode, long hours in chuma mode, or sell it. After evaluating the options, I chose to sell. In my case, human resource additions would have subtracted to passivity, not added. While I would have made more money hiring more people, I wasn't willing to forego my free time for it. A year after I sold my company, I examined the possibility of a parking business near the airport. Local travelers to the Phoenix airport could valet park their car in a neighboring parking lot and get chauffeured to the airport. In general, this was a rental system. People would pay to park their car and I would earn a daily fee for each parked car. It had internet-like qualities, it ran 24/7 and generated income with the simple passage of time. It was a great idea with high potential for passivity. I found land for sale near the airport and it was perfect. I started to run numbers, projections, and scenarios to see how I could make this business a reality. The numbers uncovered something important. While the business model was truly a rental system, the operation itself was a human resource system. To make this idea a successful business, it would have required at least 24 people on payroll at all times. That stopped me cold and I didn't pursue it further. I wasn't willing to risk trading passivity for a human resource system that is unpredictable and difficult to manage. A member of the Fastlane community owns a few self-storage facilities. Her business is a rental system. People pay money to store their junk and she receives monthly income. You'd assume that her facility is run by a human resource system, managers, property assistants, but it isn't. Her properties have automated kiosks that run each property, a computer system. This makes her business 85% passive. Remove the kiosk, add human resource systems, and passivity drops. Does this suggest that human resource systems are a drain to passivity? It depends. First, what is the existing level of passivity to the business as it is now? If you own a coffee shop and work 80 hours a week, you have zero passivity. A general manager, a human resource system, would raise passivity by an estimated 40%. In my business, I was operating at 85% passivity. Adding any human resource system would have lowered passivity. Human resource systems can add passivity or erode it. Good employees nurture money trees. Bad employees pluck the fruit of money trees and require pruning. However, don't let that scare you. If you want to make millions of dollars, or billions, human resource systems are needed, because you can't do everything yourself. Chapter Summary: Fastlane Distinctions. To divorce yourself from the slow lane's transactional relationship of time for money, you need to become a producer, specifically, a business owner. Business systems break the bond between your time for money, because they act like surrogate operatives for your time trade. If you have a passive income that exceeds all your needs and lifestyle expenses including taxes, you're retired. Retirement can happen at any age. The fruit from a money tree is passive income. A Fastlane objective is to create a business system that survives time, exclusive of your time. The 5 money tree seedlings are rental systems, computer systems, content systems, distribution systems, and human resource systems. Real estate, licenses, and patents are examples of rental systems. Internet and software businesses are examples of computer systems. Authoring books, blogging, and magazines are forms of content systems. Franchising, chaining, network marketing, and television marketing are examples of distribution systems. Human resource systems can add or subtract to passivity. Human resource systems are the most expensive to manage and implement. Chapter Summary: Fastlane Distinctions. To divorce yourself from the slow lane's transactional relationship of time for money, you need to become a producer, specifically, a business owner. Business systems bring in between your time because they act like surrogate operatives for your time trade. If I have passive income they taxidly are need sand lifestyle expenses including taxes, you're retired. Retirement can happen at any age. The fruit from a money tree is passive income. A Fastlane objective is to create a business system that survives time, exclusive of your time. The 5 money tree seedlings are rental systems, computer systems, content systems, distribution systems, and human resource systems. Real estate, licenses, and patents are examples of rental systems. Internet and software businesses are examples of computer systems. Authoring books, blogging, and magazines are forms of content systems. Franchising, chaining, network marketing, and television marketing are examples of distribution systems. Human resource systems can add or subtract to passivity. Human resource systems are the most expensive to manage and implement. Chapter 20. Recruit your army of freedom fighters. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22 verse 7, NIV. How the rich explode wealth. I spent a few years chauffeuring clients in limousines, so I heard a lot. I remember Gary, a young 20-something client who hired our limousine several times a month to serve as his personal escort to parties and drunken excursions. Oddly, this guy wouldn't just hire us on Friday or Saturday, he'd hire the limousine during the week. Every day of his life was his weekend. When he hired us, I knew it was going to be a long night and a profitable one, since he tipped fabulously. Being broke and a student of wealth, I couldn't bottle my curiosity. I asked the limo company owner, "What's Gary's story?" He told me that Gary was semi-retired and just sold his administrative office company for millions. Wow. This guy couldn't have been much older than I, and he was already retired and living large. The next few times I chauffeured the man, I eavesdropped on his conversations hoping to catch a tasty tidbit of the rich. And I did. To his club wingman, I heard Gary drunkenly declare, "Thanks to municipals and treasuries, I never have to work another day of my life." Another piece of the wealth puzzle solved. The best passive income venue in existence. In the prior chapter, I neglected to mention the best money tree seedlings in existence. I omitted it because it isn't really a business seedling but a seed you already possess. Whether you're broke, in a dead-end job, or without a business, you already have the raw materials for the best money tree seed in existence. What is it? Guess. Real estate. An internet business. A network marketing 137 company. Licensing and invention. No. No. Hell no. And no. The best money tree in existence sits right in your pocketbook, the good old-fashioned buck. Yes, money. Money is the king of money trees. How is money passive? If you have a lot of money, you're given the gate key to switch teams from consumer to producer. Specifically, you move from borrower to lender. You move from employee to employer. You move from customer to owner. In other words, people pay you to use your money in the form of interest or ownership. For example, let's examine interest, which is a fee earned to lend money. Right now you're probably someone who doesn't earn interest, but pays it. Someone lent you money for the mortgage on your home, and in return you pay the noteholder interest. That interest is profit or income to someone else. While the act of becoming a lender sounds complicated, it isn't. Anytime you buy a certificate of deposit from a bank, you become a lender. Anytime you buy a municipal bond, either directly from the source or indirectly via mutual fund, you become a lender. When you deposit money in the bank, you become a lender. As a lender, you don't administer the loans, you just sit back and collect checks. It's super easy and super passive. Gary, my rich limousine passenger, was a lender who never had to work another day in his life. Savers become lenders, owners, and producers. I heard a radio commercial the other day from a self-proclaimed double dad guru who declared, "Savers are losers." I couldn't believe my ears. Savers are losers. And who are the winners? The people you advise to borrow millions on risky real estate investments. Savers aren't losers. Savers are winners because they eventually become lenders. Savers are winners because they become owners in companies. Savers are winners because they become producers and build assets. Open your wallet and look at $1. $1. It doesn't buy much, but it is the embryonic start to a passive income stream. $1 has the power to give you a nickel of passive income for life. Yes, for life. While one nickel buys squat, it unlocks the DNA implicit in money. It's fully passive. I retired in my 30s because of this simple reality. I'm a lender, and when you have a lot of money to lend, you live free because passive income arrives every month. If you had $10 million and lent it at a mere 5% interest, you'd enjoy a passive income of $41,666 every single month. At 8%, your monthly income would be $66,666 per month, fully passive. Over $60,000 every month. This is without touching the principal. You can do this for years and still have $10 million left over. Imagine opening your mailbox every month to a $40,000 check, and you didn't have to do anything for it. What kind of trouble can you get into earning $40,000 per month? I bet a lot. Unrealistic. It isn't. This is how I live. Even in this. Part 5, Wealth, the Fastlane Roadmap. 138 Low interest rate environment. I can find safe investment yields in the 4% to 6% range, some tax-free. While most people shudder at the thought of an interest rate increase, I love it. I get a pay raise. A 1% interest rate hike translates into $1,000 per month for me. And since inflation rises in unison with interest rates, my income has an element of inflation protection. If inflation rises, so do interest rates. So how does all of this become a reality? I created a passive income stream via my internet businesses, a business money tree seedling, which funded my passive income system from lending. While my internet business was 85% passive, yes, I had to work several hours per week, my lending passivity is 99.5%. I do virtually nothing and the checks arrive. Instead of trading my time for dollars, I invested my time into an autonomous system simultaneously capable of passivity and capable of funding my money system. It was a dual-flanked attack where passive income was both the short and long-term goal. Amass your army of freedom fighters. Every dollar saved is another freedom fighter in your army. If your money is fight, ing for you, your time is freed and you break the equation of time for money. Money is your army. The more you have, the more they will fight for freedom. Slow laners focus on the expense variable in the wealth equation when they should be focused on the income variable. Income is the key to growing your army of freedom fighters. You aren't going to recruit a massive army detailing cars down at the Jimmy's Auto Salon. And I'm not referring to just the US dollar, but all international dollar-denominated assets. As I write this, much of my income is derived from non-US dollar assets in other countries with stronger currencies and better yields. Fastlaners think globally, not locally. What does a dollar represent to you? A mechanism that gets you bottle service at the club every Friday? Or is it the seed of your money tree? Is it your freedom fighter? Make money fight for you instead of you fighting for money. How fastlaners, the rich, use compound interest. While examining the slow lane, I impugned compound interest as an impotent wealth accelerator because of its attachment to time. When the slow lane media darlings read that assertion, I'll be crucified because lambasting compound interest is the pinnacle of financial blasphemy. But I also exclaimed it to be a powerful passive income generator when leveraged against large sums of money. Contradictory. Just like education, fastlaners and slow laners leverage compound interest differently. Slow laners, the middle class, use compound interest to get wealthy, while fastlaners, the rich, use it to create income and liquidity. Slow laners start with $5, fastlaners start with $5 million. The Millionaire Fastlane. Compound interest pays my bills. It's my tool. It's my passive income source. 139 Yet, compound interest is not responsible for my wealth. This is critical. Fastlaners aren't using compound interest to build wealth because it's not in their wealth equation. The heavy lifting of wealth creation is left to their fast lane business. When a rich politician or public figure comes forth and discloses his finances, notice the common themes. The source of their wealth comes from their business interests, while their liquid cash reserves are tied into fixed income securities like municipal bonds, treasuries, and other highly liquid and safe investments. The rich aren't using the markets to create wealth, they're increasing their existing wealth with leveraged business assets. Remember, that 25-year-old multi-millionaire who got rich investing in mutual funds is a fairy tale. The millionaires are the guys running the funds. They're the producers. How to really use compound interest? Would you rather have $5 million right now, or a penny doubled every day for 40 days? No-brainer, right? You'd take the $5 million bucks. But that would be a serious mistake. Accept $5 million now and you forsake nearly $5.5 billion. That's $5.5 billion. Examine the chart below that demonstrates the force of doubling. Now transform the previous chart and replace the days with years. Make day 1 a person, you, at 21 years old. The transformed chart is indicative of a slow laner's journey where compound interest doesn't enforce power until most of life has evaporated. Big money doesn't come until you are in your 50s and 60s, and this is with 100% returns year after year. Average market returns would be 7%. Yet at a doubling, at age 40 you have barely $6,000. Again, this is the slow laner's predicament, imprisoned in time and uncontrollable yield. Fast laners understand this weakness and realize that compound interest weapon is most effective with large sums of money. For compound interest to be effective, you must bypass 30 years of mathematical ineptitude by riding the crest where it is effective. The tidal wave of compound interest. Like a tidal wave far out to sea, compound interest strength isn't visible until it moves near land. As the wave approaches land, its force becomes incredibly powerful. Most slow laners ride the compound interest tidal wave a million miles out at sea. And guess what? Nothing happens. They float aimlessly, going nowhere. 10% interest on $5,000 doesn't make millionaires. Saving $200 a month. The Millionaire Fastlane. From your paycheck in a 3% savings account isn't going to make you rich fast. You 141 simply can't ride a wave miles out at sea. The fastlaner observes the tidal forces near land and seeks to meet it at the shore. At the shore, the tidal wave can be ridden with impact. To actuate compound interest power, start at the shore, with a large number that can be leveraged. 10% interest on $10 million is $1 million a year, $83, $333 every single month. Exploit compound interest at its crest, not a million miles out to sea. The point of this illustration is to show that the rich aren't using compound interest to get wealthy, they're using it for income and liquidity. A 5% tax-free yield on $10 million suddenly creates a $500,000 per year passive income. Like a tidal wave at the seashore, compound interest rears excruciating force when pitted against large sums of money. This is where money transforms into a fully passive income stream. As for earning your $10 million, that solution lies in exponential leveraged growth stemming from a fast lane business, net income plus asset value, not in expenses, not in the stock market, and not in a job. The fastlaner observes the tidal forces near land and seeks to meet it at the shore. At the shore, the tidal wave can be ridden with impact. To actuate compound interest power, start at the shore, with a large number that can be leveraged. 10% interest on $10 million is $1 million a year, $83, $333 every single month. Exploit compound interest at its crest, not a million miles out to sea. The point of this illustration is to show that the rich aren't using compound interest to get wealthy, they're using it for income and liquidity. A 5% tax-free yield on $10 million suddenly creates a $500,000 per year passive income. Like a tidal wave at the seashore, compound interest rears excruciating force when pitted against large sums of money. This is where money transforms into a fully passive income stream. As for earning your $10 million, that solution lies in exponential leveraged growth stemming from a fast-lane business, net income plus asset value, not in expenses, not in the stock market, and not in a job. Chapter Summary: Fast-lane Distinctions. One saved dollar is the seed to a money tree. A mere 5% interest on $10 million is $40,000 a month in passive income. A saved dollar is the best passive income instrument. Fastlaners, therich, don't se compound interest the market stoget wealthy, but to create income and preserve liquidity. A saved dollar is a freedom fighter added to your army. The rich leverage compound interest at its crest, applied against large sums of money. Fastlaners eventually become net lenders. Fastlane 21. The real law of wealth. Try not to become a man of success, but a man of value. Albert Einstein. EFFEC tie-in, not attraction. The law of affection. Nope, not a misprint. Mathematics is the transcendent law, gauge of the universe. It cannot be controverted nor debated. 2 + 2 = 4. The number 10 million will always be greater than 24. These statements are facts and not subject to interpretation by some mystical theory of philosophy. Math is law. Secrets and mystical philosophies are not. If you want to get rich, start observing the true law of the universe, math, and not some hocus-pocus law that can neither be proved nor documented. Singing positive platitudes around the campfire isn't going to make you rich. Oh, don't get your panties in a wad. I know the law of attraction sounds great and has practical applications. For those not familiar with the law of attraction, LOA, it's a mystical philosophy that states you become what you think and that your conscious and unconscious thoughts make your reality. The LOA contends that if you know exactly what you want, ask the universe for it, see it coming, then you will eventually receive it. Think riches and you will have riches. Sounds easy, huh? I won't hide my candid sacrilege to the LOA crowd. I think it's a bunch of below. Nay, orchestrated to sell books to those who think thinking will make you rich. In fact, the LOA is nothing but old principles of belief and visualization repack. Aged and remarketed for mass consumption. Who are the true fastlaners? The LOA marketers. Bake a cake without sugar. Why did this book take me so long to write? I spent 2 years wishing and think, ing positively about it. I let the law of attraction do the work. I asked the universe for this book. I was open to it. I saw it before my eyes. I even snapped a picture of a bookstore shelf and photoshopped my book on the shelf. What happened? Absolutely nothing. Nada. Zilch. The universe never gave me my finished book. The fact is, despite all my positive thinking and meditations to the universe for my book, it never materialized until I sat my butt down in a chair and started to write it. I made a coordinated commitment to action, a conscious choice, and then a commitment to that choice in the form of massive action. If you're a law of attraction fan and find this critique offensive, that's okay. I didn't write the Millionaire Fastlane to make friends or to book speaking engagements about being a positive thinker. I wrote it to tell you exactly what you need to do to get rich. Thinking never made anyone rich, unless that thinking manifests itself into consistent action toward application of laws that work. In fact, I find it insulting that someone might assume my success is due to positive thinking. I'm a realist who understands human nature, and that nature is to take the path of least resistance. It doesn't surprise me that these attraction books sell millions. The books that promise the easiest roads to wealth do well because, like sex, easiness sells. Events of wealth sell. Process does not. Yes, positivity is favored over cynicism. Belief is the starting point to change. Visualization is crucial. Yes, if you don't believe you can do it, I've got news for you, you can't. This stuff isn't new, it's old. While the law of attraction is a nice hammer in the toolbox, its flaw is that it ignores the real secret behind wealth, the real secret that transcends all wealth, all people, all cultures, and all roads, and that is the law of affection. The flaw of attraction is that it ignores mathematics. The Law of EFFEC Tie-in, the Fastlane Primer. The law of affection states that the more lives you affect in an entity you control, in scale and/or magnitude, the richer you will become. The shortened, sanitized version is simply, affect millions and make millions. Grammarians, I can hear you screaming. Relax. I know the difference between affect and effect. I'm using affection, as it appears in Webster's Revised Unabridged Dictionary, published in 1913 by C. and G. Merriam Company, as a noun meaning creation, a doing. A while ago, I wrote an article titled The Shortest Make Millions article ever written. Guess how long the article was? A paragraph. Maybe a sentence or two. Nope. Just 2 words. And those words? Impact millions. Impact millions and make millions. It doesn't get any simpler than that. In other words, how many lives have you touched? Who has benefited from your work, your assets, and your handiwork? What problems have you solved? What value are you to society? If you're working the front desk at a hotel, you simply aren't making much of an impact, and your bank account will represent 145 that same fact. The amount of money you have, or don't have, is a direct reflection on the amount of value you have provided, or not provided. EFFEC tie-in is scale, magnitude, or both. To exploit the law of affection, your business needs to make an impact of either scale or magnitude, or both. Within our Fastlane wealth equation, scale and magnitude are implicit to our net profit variable. Net profit equals units sold, scale, times unit profit, magnitude. An example of scale is reflected on our Fastlane roadmap via the profit variable in our wealth equation, units sold. If you sell 20 million pens and make 75 cents profit on each, you just earned $15 million. This is having an impact on scale with tiny magnitude. Obviously, selling a writing pen doesn't have a major impact on anyone's life. The wealth is transmuted via scale, not magnitude. Conversely, magnitude is having a great impact on a few, and within our Fastlane wealth equation is reflected in unit profit. Price always reflects magnitude. If you sell a product that's worth $50 million, you have access to magnitude. For example, if you owned an apartment complex with 400 units and profit $100 from each unit, you'd generate $40,000 in monthly income. Because you are provide ing housing for 400 families, you are making an impact of magnitude, not scale. Shelter has magnitude. Activities of magnitude have higher profit potential with smaller scales. Magnitude is always reflected by an item's price. High value equals high price equals high magnitude. If you can combine both scale and magnitude, we won't be discussing millions but billions. Donald Trump makes an impact on both magnitude and scale and therefore is worth billions. Scale creates millionaires. Magnitude creates millionaires. Scale and magnitude creates billionaires. Follow the money. Unfortunately, the word law is loosely tossed around to represent concepts that aren't really laws. The law of attraction isn't a law but a theory. The word law is absolute. It works 100% of the time. When you drop a watermelon from your 10th floor dorm window, the law of gravity takes over, the watermelon falls to the ground every single time. The outcome is a 100% certainty. Unfortunately, positive thinking and visualization don't work with 100% certainty. Belief and manifestation aren't absolute, so they can't be classified as laws. However, the law of affection is absolute. Show me any self-made billionaire and I will show you a person who has touched the lives of many in scale or magnitude, directly or indirectly. To Woodward and Bernstein, Deep Throat said, "Follow the money, and when you do, you find the only one true law of wealth, and that is affection." Why? Because affection is rooted in mathematics, and because of this it operates exclusive of any roadmap. A slow laner can use the law of affection to escape slow lane confinement. Pro athletes, actors, and entertainers, intrinsic value explosions happen because of the affection. Society suddenly perceives your value to be meteoric. Yes, these people are still trading their time for money, but in an unprecedented stratum of value. For example, over the last decade, Bill Clinton earned more than $50 million in public speaking fees. While speaking is a direct trade of time for money, his intrinsic value is legendary, perhaps more than $100,000 per hour. Underneath the big fee is the law of affection. He speaks to millions and is paid millions. A rapper sells millions of songs and is paid millions. A housewife sells a million kitchen gadgets and earns millions. A lottery winner wins millions because millions entered the drawing. Daddy Warbucks' son inherits millions because Warbucks' company served millions. A plastic surgeon earns millions because he serves many in magnitude. A star athlete's agent earns millions because his clients serve millions. Retrace the source of millionaire money and you will find millions of something. Affection of scale or magnitude always precedes money, either directly or indirectly. The more lives you impact, directly or indirectly, the more wealth you will attract. Big wealth follows big numbers. Athletes are a perfect example of affection. If you play professional baseball, you're paid a meteoric intrinsic value. In 2009, Alex Rodriguez signed a $240 million contract. How exactly is that justified? Simple. The law of affection justifies all wealth. Alex Rodriguez, via baseball, entertains millions. He leverages scale. This is the same for any professional athlete. They get paid millions because they entertain millions. A comedian who makes millions laugh gets paid millions. The corporate executive who facilitates a corporation that services millions gets paid millions. Again, these are glorified power intrinsic value positions that leverage the law of affection. If you want to get rich via intrinsic value, you must do it via the law of affection. Get into a position to impact millions. Become indispensable and irreplaceable like an athlete, entertainer, or a top brass executive. Can't get access to millions like an athlete? Then go directly to the source and serve the source. For example, agents of high-profile athletes are as rich as the athletes themselves because they have indirect contact to the law of affection. Real estate brokers who specialize in the homes of the rich become rich themselves because they indirectly connect themselves to arbiters of the law. The law of affection doesn't care about roadmaps or time trades or anything but the mathematical power of large numbers. Make a giant impact a few times or make a small impact millions of times. Joe Magnitude owns a company that develops commercial real estate. He develops 14 office complexes and partitions the offices into condos. Each fully sold complex profits him $400,000. 14, scale, times $400,000, magnitude, equals $5,600,000. Joe Scale writes a book detailing a diet of the stars. He sells 8 million IES, scale, and earns $7 per copy, magnitude. He earns the same amount, $5,600,000. The closer you get to the source of large numbers, the closer you will get to wealth. To serve millions is to make millions. Think big to earn big. Chapter Summary, Fastlane Distinctions. The law of affection states that the more lives you affect or breach, both in scale or magnitude, the richer you will be. Scala translatesto, units sold, a for-profit variable within our Fastlane wealth equation. Magnitude translates to unit profit, of our profit variable within our Fastlane wealth equation. The law of attraction is not a law, but a theory. The law of affection is absolute and operates exclusive of a roadmap. All lineages of self-made wealth trace back to the law of affection. The law of affection's absoluteness comes from direct access and control. You are the athlete, versus indirect access, you are the athlete's agent. To make millions you must serve millions in scale or a few in magnitude.